purpose of today's video is to educate you guys about a super popular supplement, creatine. A lot of people have done reviews on this particular type of supplement before. However, I'm a huge why guy. I don't take something because someone who's more jacked than me says to take it. I have to know why, and you should too. Another point of this video is to help prevent people from falling into the trap of thinking they need to buy 20, 30, 40 supplements in order to get in shape, go in the gym and build muscle. That is a lie. In regards to supplements, you should not be taking a lot of supplements. There are only a few you actually should be taking. There are only a few which actually do help you. So just don't fall into the trap of buying a ton of supplements, because it is a trap, and it's a trap for your money. Anyway, we'll be covering what creatine is, what it physiologically does inside your body and why, whether I recommend taking it and why, and we'll also be talking a little bit about various creatine supplements on the market. There are a few that are kind of BS that you should avoid.
So creatine is also known by the name methylguanidine acetic acid. It's very similar to an amino acid, and it has a shape down here, which does not actually matter at all for the purpose of this video. I just thought you should know what it looks like. And this stuff is natural. It naturally occurs in your muscles, fibers, and also in your brain. So don't let anyone tell you that creatine is not natural, because it is. So physiologically, what does creatine do? So creatine causes your muscles to take in more water. It will increase your water weight via a process called osmosis. Now, this isn't a super important process to understand in detail in all of its entirety, so we'll be focusing on the 3 latter bullet points. So creatine does support strength. It can help you improve your strength. It can increase anaerobic recovery, which means that your fast twitch muscle fibers recover a little bit faster. It means in between your sets, you might actually feel more rested in a less amount of time. It also supports increases in your lean mass. And this is a kind of a little bit to take in. You're like, wow, it does all this stuff. But in the description of this video, I'll be linking peer-reviewed journal articles that support all that I'm saying here. So if you're at all curious about where I'm getting this information, you can find all that information in the link to this video. So how does creatine help with recovery and potentially increase your strength? So creatine is a really important component of your immediate energy release system, and this is also called your ATP PC system, or adenosine triphosphate phosphocreatine system. So when creatine is in your muscle fibers, a phosphate group attaches to it right here, and that phosphate group is used to make ATP. So it readily converts, or helps convert, the ADP to the ATP, and we all know that ATP, adenosine triphosphate, is what your body uses for energy at the very, very small scale level, right? So when your levels of phosphocreatine are pretty high inside your body can more easily use that phosphate and put it on an ADP molecule and more quickly make ATP readily available to your body's muscles, right? So that is extremely important. So in regards to recovery, it takes about 30 seconds to replace your ATP stores to about 70% of what they previously were, and 3 to 5 minutes to get those phosphocreatine levels back up to the maximum saturation point in your muscle fibers. Okay, and this is pretty interesting to note, because you see a lot of powerlifters waiting a really long time in between their sets, and that is because they're trying to get the most juice they can out of their immediate energy release system, or their ATP PC system. So how much creatine should you be taking? So a loading dose for creatine is about 20 grams a day for 5 to 7 days to fully saturate your muscle cells with the creatine phosphate. Maintenance is usually 5 to 10 grams a day. I personally take 5 to 10 every other day, every 2 or 3 days. Sometimes I forget it for like a week. Like I said, it's a supplement. It's not like food. It's not as necessary. You can work out and make great gains without it, but it can really help increase your strength, maybe your lean mass, and your recovery time. And more creatine isn't necessarily better. Once your cells are fully saturated with the creatine, if you take more, you're just gonna pee it out. It's kind of like pouring water into a bucket that's already full. That's kind of the analogy there. All right, so I get this question asked a lot. Should I take creatine before a workout, after, during? And the answer to this question is it doesn't matter. Once your cells are fully saturated with creatine, it doesn't really matter when you actually take the substance. People kind of treat this supplement kind of like, or sometimes think about this supplement as caffeine or some other supplement that immediately starts working after you take it. Creatine is effective in chronic daily time, while caffeine and other supplements are effective in acute time, 1 to 3 hours. So if you want to get the best results out of creatine, I would start taking it days before you start working out. All right, there are some products that you should probably stay away from because they cost a little bit extra of your money, and they really don't do a lot for you. For example, you have products that are delayed release, and you have these creatine complexes, but these really don't matter because once the creatine is fully saturated in your muscle fibers, it really doesn't matter what you take. No idea why you'd want a delayed release creatine, because creatine is not really a fast acting supplement. It gradually builds up in your muscle fiber cells, or your muscle fibers, right? So I'm not, maybe they're just preying on people's ignorance here. Like, I really, there's no really point. If you look at all the journal articles, creatine is not an acute supplement that immediately starts working like caffeine, something that your body gradually builds up over time. So yeah, stay away from these two, or you can buy them. Go for it, but I'm just saying that your cheapest option, simple micronized creatine monohydrate, is your best option, and it is probably your most effective option as well.